It's Friday, which means first, let's welcome tonight's guest. This bear doesn't poop in the woods, probably. Host of Special Report, Brett Baer. She's the only Kennedy we want running for president and driving. Host of Kennedy on Fox Business, Kennedy. Her book's a #1 bestseller at doorstops.com. Fox News contributor, Kat Toops. And before he leaned on it, it was just the regular Tower of Pisa. My massive sidekick and the NWA's world heavyweight champion, Tyrus.
Yeah.
Now that's what I call an all-star panel. In your face.
Got my Brett Baer golf shorts on. I'm excited to be here, trying to get a game in.
All right, before we get to some news stories, it is Friday, so let's do this.
Greg's Leftovers.
Yeah, it's Leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week. And as always, it's my first time reading these, so if they suck, I will dismember a writer in front of you. Yes. Here we go. The national champion Georgia football team will not be visiting the White House this year. The coaches say it wasn't because of any policy, but that they just couldn't understand President Biden's directions. 79-year-old Robert De Niro welcomed his 7th child this week, which means his girlfriend will now have to change 2 diapers. Yeah. Clap now. You wait 20 years. A homeless man named Fred Innocent, that's great, definitely his real name. He was charged with a hate crime after he took a dump on a pride flag outside a Manhattan bar. But since his name is Innocent, technically they have to let him go. Felt like that joke could have gone in a better direction. Anyway. He would have been unhoused if it wasn't a gay pride flag, but it was a gay pride flag, so it's homeless. There you go, huh? Last week, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky officially stepped down. Per her own guidelines, before returning home, she has to quarantine for 10 to 14 days. A new survey on job satisfaction has found that workers are happier than they've been in decades. That's said one woman. How's that dental hygiene school coming along?
I look awesome.
A new poll reveals Donald Trump is leading Joe Biden by 7 points. When told the news, Biden said he wasn't worried. He just needs a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. An Ohio judge has ruled that a trans woman did not commit indecent exposure in a female changing room after the defense argued that body fat covered the entire genitalia area. Proving sometimes it's less embarrassing to just plead guilty. Punk band Sum 41 announced this week they're breaking up after 27 years together. The news was so big, both fans were heartbroken. Why are we going after Sum 41? What did they do to us? Reports claim Pelotoners are calling over 2 million exercise bikes because of a defective seat post. Sadly, this will leave countless Americans with nowhere to hang their clothes. Boy. A website is offering to pay people $1,000 to binge watch all of the Fast and Furious movies. This despite the fact that the U.S. has a strict policy against torture. A man staying at a hotel in Nashville woke up at 5 a.m. to find the night manager sucking on his toes. When asked to comment, he said, "I'm just glad I fell asleep on my stomach." Finally, this week, President Biden's approval rating hit a jaw-dropping 36%, prompting Secret Service to change his code name to Bud Light. Well, that's it. So, with their ratings in despair, they put Trump on the air, and now they're taking heat for having him in the hot seat, which means it's time for...
At CNN, we lie and smear, we hide in fear behind our garbage on screen. By far the worst thing you've seen. Perhaps we change our routine. Oh, might as well Trump. Trump. Might as well Trump. Trump. He f***ed us.
Nice. Well done. All right. CNN is still recovering from their super magnificent, totally amazing town hall with President Trump this week. True, it was every bit as successful as a street festival in Pompeii. For you history fans. During it, everyone saw the former president mop the floor with moderator Caitlin Collins in front of a home crowd who welcomed him like Genghis Khan on Father's Day.
He had a lot of kids.
Yeah, he did.
That Pete Head got beat.
Not by much. But poor Caitlin, first they gave her 6 months with Don Lemon, and now this. It makes you wonder, did she run over her boss's dog? At this point, she should just go into hiding and change her name back to Bruce. Sorry, wrong Caitlin. Anyway, this was her before the town hall, and this was her after. CNN didn't fare much better. CNN came out looking so bad, actually, people are calling them the CNN of news networks. That's really funny. Criticized from the left and mocked by the right, human cotton swab Anderson Cooper tried to defend his network's decision to have Trump on. I wonder, who was that man you were so upset to hear from last night?
That man you were so upset to hear from last night, he may be president of the United States in less than 2 years. And that audience that upset you, that's a sampling of about half the country. They are your family members, your neighbors, and they are voting. And many said they're voting for him.
That man, he who cannot be named, appearing on the network no one wants to watch. Even the dummies at CNN can't resist the ratings gold of the orange man. Cooper was so shocked it turned his hair even whiter. It's now whiter than a neighborhood watch in Martha's Vineyard. I wonder, do CNN viewers have every right to be outraged and angry and never watch the network again?
You have every right to be outraged today and angry and never watch this network again. But do you think staying in your silo and only listening to people you agree with is going to make that person go away? After last night, none of us can say, I didn't know what's out there. I didn't know what's coming.
I didn't know what's coming. Same thing they said about Jeffrey Toobin.
Never over.
Never over.
It does take a while.
It does take a while, you know. Never forget, remember? Never forget. Who's the real hero here, Brett? Is it me? By the way, great job tonight with Kat on Special Report.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's tremendous.
Yeah.
It finally happened.
Yeah.
It finally happened.
When you guys got into that fight over the debt ceiling, I thought you were gonna leave, get up and leave.
Well,
It was a great show.
he almost did because you were like, you should be hosting. You did such a good job.
It only took 3 years.
3
Yes.
years,
We
yeah.
finally got there.
3 years.
Listen, when Anderson Cooper says you have every right not to watch the channel, you know, everybody has the right. They have the clicker.
Right.
They can change the channel.
Yeah.
The hand wringing has really been something to watch, hasn't it?
No, it's incredible. It's as though the last 5 years or so never existed, and this is all new to them. And so what they end up doing is they keep putting their viewers through the same torture because they're reliving the experience without any progress. It's weird.
It's very strange.
It is very strange. I mean, we went through some rough times, and then CNN said, hey, hold my mocha.
Yes, they sure did.
I don't know why I said mocha.
Because it's CNN. They don't drink beer.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, sure they got a Bud Light or two.
I'm not sure they drank it, though.
Yeah.
Kennedy,
Yes.
how are you?
Wonderful, thank you.
Excellent. Did you watch this town hall, and what were your thoughts? And now, how do you feel about CNN's kind of reaction?
No, I had friends sending me clips in real time, and one of them was just a random clip that said, she named her cat Vagina. And I'm like, well, that's all you need. So what it shows, the reason they're so upset is because Joe Biden can't do this. Joe Biden can't come to Fox and have a town hall where he's confronted with all of his failures and misdeeds and conflicts of interest with his family and God knows how many foreign nationals and different countries, because he would melt into a sad elderly puddle.
Right.
So that cannot happen. It would be great. I mean, I would love if the president of the United States could withstand something like that, and you could fill this entire audience with Democrats. It would be fine. That's never going to That's never going to happen. And I think that's why they're so upset, because they wouldn't be mad if he lost. If he was facial disgraced, that would be a massive victory. That's not what happened.
Yeah. They're also, Tyrus, it's on CNN, I don't know if you could comment on this or not, but they're actually linking that town hall to Russia, saying that it was obvious that Donald Trump was like influenced by Putin because he wouldn't call him a war criminal. It's like they still have Trump derangement running through their blood vessels, 24/7.
What's the scientific term for?
Yeah.
It was the best night of TV that network has had in months, right?
Years.
Years. So,
Since Blackfish, really.
yeah, I feel like this is a plot. This is like, Kat always talks about the one friend who doesn't really have a problem and will interrupt you with like, oh, you won't believe what happened to me. I went to bed and I forgot to plug in my cell phone. So my whole morning was completely screwed up.
Yeah.
What were you saying about fighting cancer?
Yes.
That's what CNN is doing.
Right.
They're pretending like there was this, who's upset?
Yeah.
Am I missing something? Was there protests outside? Mostly peaceful.
Yeah.
Protests outside the building. Was Anderson followed to work by Democrats going, how could you?
Yeah.
How could? No one's saying that. They watched it to see Trump. The people who tuned in saw Trump. And then they're going to go see Trump wherever he goes. They're not staying with CNN.
Right.
So what you saw last night was the same thing they've been seeing. Just say it.
Yeah.
Say it. I get it. You had a marriage. You got him to where he needed to go. He left you for a younger woman. And then he comes back every so often. And you let him in. And you let him have dinner. You let him spend the night. And you wake up in the morning. And he leaves. Okay? It's your fault. Stop letting him in.
Yes.
Okay?
You know, Kat, Tyrus's thing about like, why are they flipping out when nobody's mad? Do you think they're doing this for the summer, the summer weekends on the Hamptons, so that people, when they come after them and go, why did you have Trump on? Anderson Cooper said, but you saw what I said. Please let me have another mimosa.
Okay. First of all, I would just like to point out that my doorstep book has been on the New York Times bestseller list for 3 weeks in a row. So I would actually really like it to make it a full month, but that's not going to be happening if you tell people it's a doorstep. So it's a very good book. It's a great gift for your mom, or if your mom's dead like mine, buy it for yourself. I shouldn't work in marketing, but it's very good. I'm very proud of it, and everyone should get it if they haven't gotten it yet. And I will say, yes, I agree with you, but I would also say of course that's what they're doing, because that's what they've been doing, right? They see Trump and they're like, this is the end of the country. This is the end of the democracy. They do that every time he comes on the screen. They probably didn't even watch it. They probably don't even know what happened, because that's what they say. But Kennedy is right. People point out, oh, it's so hard to interview Trump because he steamrolls people. But it's actually would be harder, I think, to interview Biden because he is so easily steamrolled. You could be like, where are you? That's too tough.
By the way,
many
we ask
occasions.
every week. Every single week we've asked.
Yeah.
Town hall, interview, whatever.
I
And
mean,
the
Kat
answer-
finally said yes, so.
That's right.
Yes.
There's hope.
Yes, there is.
President Trump never steamrolled Brett Baer.
No.
He's never afraid.
Yeah.
We have an interview soon.
Oh, that's good.
Didn't
That's
steamroll you.
No. We had a lovely dinner, though, afterwards. We had the best steak. Steak was
Absolutely huge.
fantastic. Look at these linens. These linens are amazing. Everything at that place is The best.
Do you know Brett does an incredible Trump impression?
Let me see it. Let me hear it.
It's absolutely huge. Okay? Absolutely huge.
Crush me. There you go. Oh, we got more of Brett.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.